Welcome to the Trading Focus once again. Hope everyone is doing good, guys. So now we are going to talk about the results we got from trading gold from last week. We are going to get to know where we did well and where we didn't do well. The market was really very tough to make decisions, but at the end of the weekend, we got a positive result. So we are going to talk about all that. You have to focus on this video. This is a review that you are going to go back and see where you are supposed to be deciding positive decision to be making money in the market. So remember, guys, subscribe on the channel, leave the comment below, and we are coming just in the few seconds as we continue to focus on being consistency in the market, looking back from the past and what we are looking for from the next week. Okay, guys, welcome back. So let's start from where we predicted the market from the last Monday when the market was about to open. So remember, we did a video of market review on gold, and even that's why we did a pre-market analysis even on gold. So we marked everything that we have been expecting to happen this week. That's what we are going to be looking for. How did we took those different trades, where we did wrong and where we did well? We are going to find out where we need to improve and what we need to avoid in the market based on decisions. Okay, so this is gold. You remember this gap was where the market opened from. I will go with the market replay so that we can see everything, that how we played it. Remember, this is gold every from Monday to Friday. So we do live stream with the signals where we try to mark and try to analyze the market by marking different areas to enter for buy or sell. So you can get those setups from the live chat. So many of the guys are there, they take those trades. We took those trades together, so they know how they are weak, and so that's what we have to look, so that those viewers or our people on the YouTube here, they can know where they were supposed to decide well, buy or sell, where to manage the risk, so that next week they can do that better. So as our focus is to be consistency in the market. So then we are going to start from this area as where the market opened from. So we are going to focus on 30 minutes, between 30 minutes and 15 minutes. That's where we enter from. We got a confirmation from those time frames, and then we decide to enter for buy or sell. So you can see all the way down, we started from this area, but from all these trades, we didn't take any sell. So that's a surprise. You can see that the market is like moving down, but from the higher time frame, the market was in the uptrend. So we focused on the uptrend and we decided to take some entries, okay, buy entries. So where we made profit, and we had to manage risk. As you can see, the market was struggling, tried to take us down, to move down, but we stuck on the buying opportunities. And when we got the different characters or indications that the market is going to go against our direction, that's where we decide to manage risk, to secure and close some amount. And the end of the week, we walk away with the profit in our pocket. So now this is the higher time frame that I wanted to just show you that we are still in the uptrend. We're expecting the market to repeat a break of structure like this. We're expecting an uptrend like this. This structure is what we are expecting even from this area. So we are still struggling. We are going to mark everything how we entered the market. Then after this, we are going also to look on what are we going to be looking for next week. You can see that we are in the uptrend. This structure is repeating itself. This is usual on gold. If you are familiar with gold, you can see from the downside areas, the previous move from these areas, you can see we try to create some correction as the pullback, faking the sellers that we are going down. Then we decide to move up. You can see. So the same scenario happened from this area. This is what we are facing right now. We are trying to move down, but still we need to focus on buying opportunities as we are in the uptrend. Okay, so you have to mark that. So then now we are going to see how we entered from these different positions from gold. And we are going to count how many trades did we take from there. Then after that, we are going to see how many trades did we lose and how many trades did we got the profit from. Okay, so now from the last Friday, the week before this last week, this is where the market closed from. You remember if you watched our previous video about gold review and pre-market analysis from Sunday, I think it was Sunday last week. So that's where the market was. We were predicting the market to continue in the upside. Remember, we're expecting an uptrend continuation as we were expecting to target different areas from the high. Okay, you can see at least we are trying to target this area, this one. Okay, so then what do we predict? So we are going to start from where we predicted from so that you can see where we decided to go buy and where we decided to stay away from the market, because remember, we decided to take buying position as we are in the uptrend. So the market closed like this. We had this area, okay, this entire area from here. So that area, that's where we're expecting to be taking opportunity to buy from. Remember, I talked about that this market, maybe we gap down from this area, then we start creating highs to higher low so that we can buy from this area. So what happened? The market moved up. We are going to see that in the minutes, and then continue moving up from that area. So if the market, that's when we're expecting to see that. The time we are predicting this, again, we are expecting also the market to continue moving up from this area. Then if we break above this structure, this left hand side structure, this one, small structure, as a higher high, so then from the higher low, that's where we're expecting to be entering from. Okay, as we are targeting the previous high, this one. So we're expecting to enter from that area by taking a buy. But remember, before, if you are marking an area where you are expecting to be entering from, make sure that you get a confirmation. The confirmation, the first confirmation was to create a high from this area. This will be the higher high from this one. Okay, so from the higher low, from the supply, from the demand zone, that's where we are expecting to be taking a buy from. That is a higher low. That's where we buy from. So to confirm that, the first confirmation to break above this area, the second confirmation to create a pullback from this area, the third confirmation is that we are waiting for a reaction from this area. We are waiting for the bullish candlesticks. As we get those bullish candles, that bullish candlestick, we confirm that after that candlestick has closed in 15 minutes or 30 minutes, I'm talking about that because it's the one that we use here to enter in the market. That confirmation after the close of the candlestick, that is a bullish candlestick, bullish engulfing, bullish harami, or whatever candlestick that is showing that we are going to go bullish. So that's where you go ahead and enter the market. So then entering from this area, where is the first target? You have to make sure that you have the first TP, second TP, and goes to the target. So the previous area, this was the first TP, TP1 from this area, internal area, because you can see here as a joint. So we have high probability to be rejecting from this area, because if I mark this or this entire candlestick, which is left hand side, this one, this bullish candlestick, this will be like a supply area. So that's why I have to make sure that if the market create a lower high from this area, from the higher low, I'm going to be entering from this area, but still looking to target this area and even above that area. This is like a fake out this high. I'm expecting if we break above this line, this one, we are expecting even to break above this area. Let me just mark them, and then if we get any reaction from that, you can start looking for securing some profits. Okay, so then what happened? Let's see. So the market gapped up. This time there were no entry because that was the open of the market. We are not in the market, except someone who entered before would be in the profit from this area. We created a higher high. So still from this area, we are waiting for the higher low, because we continued from this area. We are waiting for the higher low from the area we also been talking about earlier to enter from. So this will be still our entry. Then we are waiting for the market to create a higher high. We already created a higher high. So from this area, we can go for the higher low so that we can enter for buy. So you can say that what if we continue moving up, then we get to the target. So that time we have to go back and see what next now. What can we wait for from the higher low, because we are in the trend continuation, uptrend continuation, and where are we going to be entering for buy so that we can also break above this first target. So we have to focus on this because we are not already reached there. We have to wait for the higher low from this area. Let's pay out and see what happened. So we started rejecting from that area. Let's see, we need a higher low. Okay, rejecting from the high. So you can say that, okay, from someone who trade break and retest, we'll be also saying, okay, can we enter from this area? But remember, this downside area, this one is imbalance. And that was Monday. You have to focus on better entries so that you can make profit from the day one when the market is opening. So then you need to wait for the market to break below this area, and then you take a buy. If we stay above this area, what will happen? From someone who followed these rules of buying from supply zones, you have to make sure that there is a decision to make if we stay above this area. So remember, I talked about this structure. If we stay above this area, above imbalance area, you need to make sure that you get more confirmation to stay above. That's why you create another structure from this area. Above this area, that's when you create a high to the low. Then from this high to the low, you can also take a buy from this area as you're expecting an uptrend continuation. So let's see what happens so that we can decide based from that. Okay. So we stayed above this area. We are trying to break below. If we reach this area, we are going to take a buy no matter what. Okay, let's see what happened. We moved down. So now this is an opportunity. We can get to our entry. So now this is an entry to enter from. We got a hammer. So I'm going to enter for buy. This was our first trade. enter from this area. The stop loss is going to be below the previous low. I'm going to set it from here. Okay, from down here, this previous candlestick lows. So then the target will be from this area. Okay, so let's see. You got a confirmation here. You are waiting for the market to move up. So then let's see what happened. We started creating so aggressive candlestick to move down, but we have a buying pressure from the downside. Okay, so the market started consolidating from that area, but we are trying to move up. So now we got a bullish candlestick showing that we are going to continue moving up. Let's see if we can continue moving up. Okay, consolidating again up. So then now we have another opportunity from this area. Any strategy that you are using, maybe it's a breakout and retest, maybe it's a supply and demand. So from this entire area also you got another opportunity. If we create a higher low from this area, you are going to be entering for buy. So also if you enter from this area, you know that you have to make sure that you set your first TP from the areas you're expecting, or you think that there is a high probability that we can react from that area, so the market can move down from where you entered from, and also there is a high probability for hitting your stop loss. So what you have to do here, you have to make sure that this is the first TP. You have to secure amount profit from this area. Okay, you have to take that habit in your mind in trading. That's why I recommend traders to take at least 2 trades. Remember also, again, we don't need you to overtrade. So make sure that you take 2 trades. If you enter for 2 positions, your first TP will be from this area. You secured profit. Okay, the next one will be from the target from this area. So let's see what we are waiting from this area. Remember to take another buy. Also, we are targeting this area. Let's see what happened. Moved up. So again, we created another new high from this area from our previous high. So we got our first TP. We secured profit. Okay. So now this is the first trade. Remember, you have to make sure that you walk away from Monday with your money in the pocket. Make sure that you get out of the market with profit. If not happen, make sure that you manage risk and make sure that you lose very small amount on Monday. So then what you had to do here is the same as what I've been talking about from this area. So then we need to stay above this area. Remember, you closed some amount from this area, and then you have a new high. Okay, a new high from this area. If I want to make sure that I'm going to close profit, I have to take my my stop loss to break even below this area. Then from there, I will be locking some profit from between this area, between where I entered from and where this low is. So this is amount trying to secure. If the market decides to move down and break below this area, I will be kicked out of the market, but with profit. Okay, so now I'm expecting the market to continue moving up. We are not yet on our target. If we decide to move down, I'll be waiting for taking another buy from this area. Remember, we got our first TP. So let's see what happened. The market moved down, then that's where you close the profit from. Remember, this was a winning trade. We have to confirm that. Our first trade was positive. So now what are we looking for? We are looking for the low from this area so that we can take another opportunity to enter for buy. Then let's see what happened. We moved up again. This area created another high, another low from this area. Okay, let me remove this one. So this low, we left down area as imbalance area. So we wanted the market to move down and balance this area. Then if we stay above, it's the same route that we are going to be following. We need to create a high, then from the higher low from this area, okay, high to the higher low from this area, entering for buy. If we don't get that, we are going to stay away by enter from this area, because we rejected from the high. If we rejected from the high again, we are expecting to come back and balance this area. So let's see what happened. So we rejected from the high. That's the fact that you have to do what? You have to stay away from entering for buy. So let me talk about someone who has been greedy from this area. Try to make sure that if I entered from this area, I need the market to get to my target. So then if you get all this reaction and you do not close the market, then you get all these opportunities to close the market. As you are moving up, then you got another rejection. If you are still in the market, you need to close right away as you reject from this area. So then let's see what happened. So we started also again rejecting from the supply area, even if we are in the uptrend, but we can expect those supply areas to react as even if the trend is strong. So then let's see what happened. And that's where from those areas, that's where we secure profits, and even sometimes those areas are targets. Okay, so we are moving down from where we need to buy from. So let's see what happened. The market continue moving up and break below that area. So sometimes, or most of the times, I do this on live chat. I say that, okay, if the market breaks below this area, we are expecting to be taking a buy from this area. This is the target. Then I bring this buy position. So from this area, we are entering from that area and we are anticipating to target this area. So then someone will come and try to enter or setting a buy limit from this area, thinking that the market is going to move up from this area. Okay, let me say this. If you mark some area to enter from, you need to wait for the confirmation. Then tell us where is the confirmation from here. We have so aggressive bearish candlestick, even we broke below the areas we're expecting to be taking a buy from. So here, there is no trade. We didn't take any trade. We are still waiting. Okay, so we are still waiting. We didn't take a trade from this area. So we still have one trade, and that was a win. So then now, as we are moving down, we have to look back from the previous movement of the market, where the price has been left some areas as an imbalance areas. So this one is the low. There's a possibility we can also reject from that low, even from that area, from the even previous price movement, we have another low. So what are we going to be doing here is to wait for the market and see the reaction from this area, so that we can take a buy or decide to go for buy based on those confirmations. So let's see what happened. The market rejected from this area. Okay, we can take this as the same as this one, but still now we don't have a confirmation to go for buy. So because we have these internal areas, we can also reject from this area. We also have this area. From this area, from the downside, this is an equal low. From the upside, we are in the range. So to take a buy from this area, we are going to need more confirmation. That is a chart pattern from the low. That's where we start creating highs to the low. Then we confirm that we can go for the high and target some few pips, because we are still expecting, as the market is still rejecting from this area, we can expect a deep pullback from those areas. So that's where also start expecting to create some kind of lower lows and lower highs so that we can get an opportunity to go for sale. But we had to wait for the confirmation to make sure that we can decide to go short or long. So then what happened? Let's see what happened. The market rejected from this area. We moved down, rejected from this area also. Let's see this buying pressure. What happened? So we broke below another. There is no trade from this area. If you did take a sell from this area, that is not my strategy. Okay, so you can take a sell from this area, but what about this area? You can also reject from this area again. So if you did take this trade based on your strategy, it's okay, but I'm still waiting from this area. Let's see what happened. Okay, rejected again from the low. So this reaction is from this high, which I don't like. I need the market to be balanced from the lows of demand. So if I stay above this retracement from this area, I will need also more confirmation. That's my rule. I have to make sure that I start creating high to the low or some kind of bullish reversal chart pattern so that I can start creating high to the low so that I can go for the high. If I don't get those confirmation, I'm staying away, still waiting for a buy from stronger confirmations. So let's see what happened from this area. What happened? Okay, so moved up like this as we are still reacting from this area. Let's see, we need confirmation. Remember, maybe we can move up from this area, then reject from this area, then we continue moving down. We need some kind of high to the low, then we enter for the high. Okay, let's see what happens. So we created a low from this area. Okay, we created a high because we broke above this area. Let's see what happened. Okay, so here, can we enter for buy? Okay, even if we can enter for buy, this high is a supply area. We can reject from that area. We still need more confirmation. Maybe I need the chart pattern like a bullish double bottom, so where we can confirm that we are going bullish. Okay, moving down. So now we have double bottom. So we have two areas. So we have two touches from this area. These are the rejections. As long as we're rejecting from the low, that mentioning that this area is stronger, we can trust it and wait for the confirmation to enter for buy. The first confirmation is that we are still rejecting from this area. Let's see for the second confirmation is that we are still creating some kind of bullish candlestick. Let's see the reaction from this bearish candlestick if we can stay above that area. Moving up, okay, down. Let's see what happened. So we started creating high highs and high low, but we still have this area as a problem. Okay, let's see what happened. Okay, moving up, down. So from this area, you can execute buy from this area. And then that's how we also decided from here to enter for buy from this area. Okay, anticipating the market to continue in the upside. Okay, so we are targeting these areas at least below this area. That's where our target was. Also, I think we entered from down area, if I remember well. We entered from this area, this low here. That's where we entered from. That was Asian session. This was our second entry. This one, because we got two entries from that area. This was ours because this is a high to the low to the high, entry for buy, high to the low to the high. This was an entry also for a buy. So we did take another entry from that area. If you didn't take them, that's when the market was from from some areas, the people were sleeping so that they cannot take some opportunities on our live stream. So let me see what happened. We moved up. Remember, we still have these areas to buy from. Also, again, this is an opportunity. Okay, let's continue and see what happened. Continue moving up. So the first target, the first TP was from this area. You can see this one. If you remember where this trade, we took this trade from this area, and this was a winning trade also again. Okay, moving up, we go to the target from this area, then the market. So the reason why we didn't target even high, because we had these areas as supply. Okay, so that's why we had to make sure that we set the target. So from this scenario, we had to wait from this area. If we create a low from this area, we would take a buy and even target above this structure. Okay, we're expecting to break above even this structure. So this is a reaction. Let's see what happened. So we have this inside area. Don't mind about these numbers. Okay, so then what happened? Moving down. Okay, we started creating some kind of consolidation. Okay, struggling from that area, moving down, creating a higher low from this area. There is no way of entering for sale from this area. If you think that this is a downtrend, I will be entering maybe from this area, but that's not my type of trading. I have to wait for the market to move down, so we rejected from this area. That's where we had to take the buy. We need the confirmation. Okay, let's see what happens. So we move down. There's no confirmation, no trade from this area. Okay, so from what I was talking about, that's where I draw an entry from this area, and we add this long position. And after marking that, I have to mention that if we reject from this area, we're expecting to take a buy from this area, as we have been expecting an uptrend continuation. There were no confirmation to enter for buy, so this was a trade that we didn't take. So now we have 3 trades which were played perfectly, so that we have to look on what can we do now. So if we break below this area, maybe we create this is a lower low from this area. From the lower high, we have to expect a sell from this area, this one. But the problem is we have an imbalance area from here, this one. I cannot confirm that I'm going to be expecting sell when I have this area, which is an imbalance. I can decide to sell from this area, then the market rejects from these areas and move up. So I have to stay away and focus on the trend. So let's see what happened. We stayed away from this area, rejected from this area. Okay. From the previous videos, we talked about demand and supply. So where we mark the high and the low of the candlestick, especially in decision, you can see this bullish candlestick. So rejected from this area. Remember, we are still trying to create higher, lower lows and lower high, but those lower lows and lower high is to break the previous high, but also again, we immediately touch from the imbalance demand areas. So that's why we had no choice except to wait for opportunities to buy from those imbalanced areas. So what we did from this area, we had to wait for the confirmation. We made a reaction and we are waiting for the confirmation. Let's see what happened. Okay, moving up, and then the market moved down. Also, again, this was so aggressive. So someone who still using this strategy will be entering from this area, but I cannot confirm to enter from this area because I'm still in the uptrend. Okay, except if you understand how to manage risk by using a volume in the market and candlesticks, where the candlestick I explain also in my education videos on this channel, where the candlestick start breaking below and then you target from the previous area, then you take a profit from this area. So I'm not entering for that. I had to wait. So we broke below these areas. This week was just challenging every time. Okay, so then we broke below this area, but we still have these lows like this one. This was a low also. We are rejecting from this area. Let me take this one the same as this one together. So now what happened? We had to wait at least from this area. This one where we can create an equilibrium, because this area is not imbalanced, is balanced. You can see we made a high to the low. This area was balanced. So from what we had from the price moving up from the downside, from the upside to the down, we had to make sure that we react from this area. If we reject from this area, we need to start looking for a better confirmation, creating a correction from this area by creating the chart pattern. Then after that, high to the low, then we enter for the higher high. So what happened? Okay, so then we moved down, reacting from this area, what we almost broke from below this area. We got a buying pressure. We are still waiting to see what happened. Okay, then so we got a bullish candlestick. This is not confirmation. So if someone was planning to enter from this area, is to wait for the more confirmations. Okay, let me remove some kind of drawings. Okay, reaction, we need up to down, then we enter for that. Up, no. Consolidating, moving down, consolidating. Let's see what happened. Up. Okay, so that's where we had to wait for the low. Sorry. So that we can take a buy from this area, anticipating the market to continue in the uptrend continuation. So then we had to take this opportunity to take a buy. Okay, from the low. Wait for the confirmation. But again, remember, as long as you are expecting an uptrend continuation, you need to make sure that you secure from some previous buying areas. So let's see what happened. Okay, we got a touch, no confirmation. We got a confirmation. Okay, now we moved up. First TP from this area, this one inside. Let's see what happened. Okay, first TP, this green line. Okay, see what happened. Moved up. We almost got there. We got our first TP. The target was from this area. If we continue, even you can continue above this area. So here, that's where you have to make a plan. As long as we have been struggling to get buying to get the confirmation to buy from, we had to plan that. We have to make sure that the week have to be positive. So that's where the first TP you have to secure it and you look for the next target. So let's see what happened. Rejected from that area. So from here, that's where wait for from the low from this area. After that, you can take a buy. Also again, anticipating the market will continue. If we create this low, then we start moving up. So then let's see what happened. Okay, moving up. Okay, rejecting from that area. So remember, as long as you create a low, that is your opportunity from this one. This low, this is your opportunity to take your stop loss to break even. So if the market moved down Remember, we entered from these areas. This will be your chance to walk out of the market with profit. So then what happened? This was a winning trade again, even if we didn't get to our target. Okay, so then we have to wait from this area and see what happened. Remember, trading is based on decisions. So we are moving down. So then we didn't get a confirmation from this area. We failed to get a confirmation to take another buy, but this trade was a winning trade. Okay, so we are going to make sure that we form a community where we can talk about all these areas where you have to decide to secure some profits. Then you wait for the market to give you another chance. If you don't get that, you stay away from the market. So let's see what happened. We moved up. Remember, we got an announcement from Donald Trump. He was expecting to be talking about Jerome Powell. They were expecting to sack Jerome Powell because he did some stuffs of about interest rates. He did some mistakes from there. So they were expecting to Trump to announce that he's going to say Jerome Powell is no longer on charge of the Fed. So then what happened? Trump comes out and then say that, okay, we are going to, even if he did maybe some mistakes, we are going to stay with him. The decision is not for now to sack Jerome Powell. So then what happened? The market moved up. Remember, this move, you had nothing to do with it to enter the market. We didn't enter the market. But because we had this volume, there was an opportunity to look from the low where we can also wait from to take a buy. So we had internal area. Remember this area, I gave it to you. And we have this low here. So what happened? Let's see what happened in the market. The market moved up. Then we entered from this area. If you remember well, we entered from this area. Remember, we secured some profit from here. If you did take a loss from this area, this was your opportunity to cover the loss and make some extra profit, some amount. Then you make your day positive. So this is a buy from this area because we got a volume. That's where we had to enter the market, expecting the market to continue and cover this left-hand side wicks. So this time we're expecting also even continue moving up. Okay. So we did take a buy from this area. This was Thursday, I think. So what happened? The market had the volume. We moved up. This is your first TP. Look, from the left-hand side, inside this area, we have this area where you can secure some profit. So the profit were secured from this area. If you did take a loss from this area, you covered the loss, and even I think you got an extra profit because the stop loss was so small. Okay, then we started consolidating from that area. We created another high. So we needed to stay above this area. That's where if you don't stay above this area, you have to take your stop loss to break even below this low. Okay, moving up to the low. Okay, then we started consolidating from that area. Remember, this was a winning trade because I showed you where you have to secure profit because trading is based on decisions. Okay, we are moving down. Let's see if we can react from the low. Okay, from the low, this was another better trade. So then what happened? We had to wait for the reaction from this area, even from this area, and see how we can also look for another opportunity to enter the market. We moved down, we reacted from this area. Okay, if someone were looking to buy from this area, it's okay. You had to take a buy from this area. This is a confirmation. from the previous low, anticipating the market to continue moving up. Okay, what happened? So consolidating. We are waiting for the high to the low. If you are in the market like this, entered from this area, you stay away, you stay in, and then you see if we can get a high to the high low, so that you can be safe too. Now be confident that the market will continue moving up. If you are not in the market, you need the market to break above this area so that from the higher low you can enter for buy. Okay, what happened then? This trade, if you entered from this area, that was a loss. So we can mark this one as a loss. I don't remember if we did. I gave you this area to enter from. I remember we were waiting from this area also again. So this is a loss. Then what happened? Reacted from the low. We had to wait for the confirmation to move up, but so aggressive sell. Okay, consolidating from that area, we created a lower low. Then from here, we had to check from the low. Do we have another low where we can take a buy from? So we had to look on these candlesticks. This one was a supply. And from that area, we had this low or zone, because this one was balanced. So this time we had to wait from this area and this one. The first one I'm gonna mark this, the second one I'm gonna mark it yellow. Okay, the first one is gonna be blue inside. So then we are waiting from these areas to take a buy. Okay, so now what happened? We moved down. Okay, we got this reaction from this area, even that is from the low of this area. Remember, we are waiting to enter from this area. That time I marked this area that we can enter from here. If we get a confirmation, then the market moved down. I remember the reaction from the live chat. The people were saying that they are going to stay away from trade from gold. So that was Thursday. I remember the guy Isaac was saying, "Oh, I'm going to stay away from gold. It's not doing well this week." So then we decided to take a risk because this was very, very stronger. We also decided to take a buy from that area. As we got the first confirmation, we wanted a bullish candlestick. So that was our entry, because we had this area and another strong area was this one. Okay, so we did take a buy from this area. This was Thursday, expecting the market to move up. So then we took a buy from here. Okay, anticipating this time, we were expecting the market even to continue targeting beyond the previous targets from these areas. Okay, so this was our entry by expecting an uptrend continuation now, and this was Thursday. That's where I took a last trade. I tried to mark some areas to enter from on the live chat, but I didn't get another entry. But there are some guys who entered from some areas I'm going to be showing you in the minutes. So let's try it out and see what happened. This time the market moved up. All the way we've been struggling from this area, the market moved up with a very stronger, aggressive buying. And then now from Friday, last day, we closed from this area. That was the end of the week. So there are some guys who entered from this area, which was making sense. We had this internal area. This was also the low for our time frame. Entered from this area, anticipating the market to continue moving up. Okay, this one. think I also took a trade from this area. I don't remember. Okay, so now the market, we are still expecting an uptrend continuation from this area next week. So now, how many trades did we win from here? So 1, 2, we did take 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. We had this one inside here, 5 trades. 6. The fifth one was the sixth one was loss, and this one is 7. So now 7 trades, 1 loss. So thank you so much for your time. Until next time, take care and be safe.